So welcome to The Debt Investor. My name is Matthew, and in this video, we're going to cover something really, really simple. All we're going to talk about is should we lend on land or should we lend on houses? Pretty easy, right? And so there's a couple different variables that'll affect your decision personally. There's no 100% right or wrong answer, but I'm going to show you what I prefer and why I prefer it. So with that being said, let's talk about the differences between land and say a house, right? Because those are going to be your two most common that you can have the opportunity to lend on. So with land, when we take it back, what are we going to have to do? Well, we're going to have insurance on it and pay the property taxes. And that is pretty much it. Now, you might have to mow it or something like that. We can include that in here. And so we're also going to have to mow the grass at the house or get it mowed. I don't mean mow it yourself. I mean pay somebody 40, 30, 40, 50 bucks to go get it mowed. But with the house, we might have to make repairs. We might have to, depending on the area, worry about squatters, right? We might have to put a roof on it. We might have to put a $15,000 roof on to get it market ready for sale. And so with a house, your to-do list has the potential to be a lot larger. Now, with land, there is an issue that a lot of people don't think about when they just look at it surface level. You can have a lot of issues, geotech, environmental, hydrological issues, perk issues, and all these problems that make the land hard to sell or harder to sell. Because if you can't build a house on the lot and you didn't know that, like think about it like this. Maybe you lend somebody $50,000 on a lot and they're going to build a house. Well, they didn't do their due diligence, so they can't build a house on it. So what do? They stop paying you, and now you have $50,000 in a lot that's worth 25 or 30, or maybe not even that because you can't do anything with it. And so land has a lot more intricacies that we have to watch out for, whereas a house, hey, does it have a roof? Does it get wet when it rains? Am I going to get shot at on the front porch? Right? And so I prefer, just from a pure asset class standpoint, I prefer houses. Yes, you're going to have to do a little bit more work if you take it back. But with land, there's just a lot of unknowns that you really, you've got to spend a lot of money to do geotechs and survey, like all this boring stuff that nobody wants to do. And so houses, in the end, will just be easier. So now that we've covered that, let's talk about the actual sales cycle and what it looks like from when they stop paying to when you sell the property. Because if they stop paying, you're going to take it back and then you're going to sell it. So with land, the take back period might be relatively short, okay? So this might be a month, 2 months. They might give you deed in lieu where they just say, hey, I don't want it. I'm not going to pay you. Take it back. With a house, you're way less likely to get that deed in lieu. You're going to have to go through the foreclosure process, maybe eviction, do all this boring stuff that nobody wants to do. And so process-wise, they start at the same time, but the house is going to take maybe twice as long. That's just the truth. Or longer, depending on the state. I've seen foreclosures take 200, 300 days in some cases. And so now that we have possession, so we get possession right here and we get possession right here, what do we have to do? Well, with a house, we're going to have to maybe make some repairs, get it market ready. No biggie. And then we're going to have to put it on the market. And so that might take this long, right? From list to sell. And that's not a big issue. Goes relatively quickly because we have the ability to price it lower than market price. Why? Because we bought it right, or we lent on it right, and our LTV, our money's protected. We just fire sale it, get rid of it, and still come out ahead. Now with our land, we list it right here, and it sits. And then it sells, okay? And so we actually end up having the same time frame in a lot of cases for both land and houses. And the reason why land takes a heck of a lot longer to sell is for this reason right here. Think about it. So if you're in a neighborhood, this can happen within one neighborhood, right? I've seen it. So lot A sells for $40,000, okay? Lot B sells for $60,000. Why? We don't know and we don't care. But here's the issue, okay? This is a 50% change. 40,000 plus 50% is $60,000. Now, we might have lent 50, and based on this comp, it's not great, but we're still decent. On this comp, it's terrible. And so land is not as liquid of a market because people have a really hard time valuing it. Whereas a house, it's quite liquid, right? There's hard costs baked in, but at the end of the day, it's like if 3 neighbors' houses sold for $190 to $200 a square foot, it's most likely the fourth one is going to sell between $190 and $200 a square foot. Whereas land, it depends on use, right? Am I going to put an RV on it, or is it the lot next door? I'm going to put a swimming pool on it, or am I going to build a house on it? And the value changes based on who's looking at it and what the use case is. Now, same with houses, it's just not as extreme. So we really want to look at that when we're lending on land, and that's the main reason why we choose not to do it, right? Because it's harder to sell, because it's actually harder to put a true value on it. And now at the end of the day, it's worth what somebody will pay for it. But with huge 50%, 60%, sometimes 100% discrepancies, it's really hard to actually make sure your money's protected. Whereas here, we can take a $200,000 house, get within $5,000 or $10,000 just based off of online comps, and we can safely lend $150,000 on it and move on to the next one, right? And so with all that being said, at the end of the day, if I had to pick one asset class to lend on for the rest of time, it would be single family houses. I wouldn't touch land. I wouldn't even look at it. I wouldn't. A lot of it's because of this right here. It's just illiquid. Nobody knows how to price it right. And so that actually affects you and affects your collateral. So with that being said, I hope you learned something. I hope this helps you make a better decision. If you're looking to buy notes for the first time, or you're looking to buy notes for the 100th time, check out the Debt Investor. Join our newsletter. I send out a curated weekly list of some note investing information that maybe you haven't heard, as well as I go and find the notes in the real world and offer them to you. So you can literally click a button and buy them online. And they're pretty beginner friendly, right? $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 a piece, not $400,000, $500,000 like you see online. So with that being said, I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.